Here we go, the race for Long Island's longest winning streak, even now at 42 because Garden City won its 42nd straight game, tying the all-time record set by William Floyd. Liam O'Donoghue getting it started there, and then watch this in the second. It's Ford Carney, and I know his name is Ford, but dude, this kid is built ram tough. Doing what he's done all season long. 82 yards to the house as the Trojans beat Mepham 24-6. A win over unbeaten MacArthur next week could give Garden City the all-time record. And what a way to kick off the show. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the News 12 Long Island Sports Rush. We got your highlights, we got your interviews, we got your stories, and we've got the boys from undefeated Southside in the studio with us just a little bit later, plus an awesome tribute to a legendary Long Island high school football coach. And we also have Sports Rush producer Andrew Rappaport alongside. We've been saying it for weeks now, right, Rapp? MacArthur, Garden City. Two trains, and they're about to collide to see who's actually the best as Garden City has that amazing streak.
Yeah, it should be a fun Saturday afternoon. I know where I'll be. I know I am going to probably stay that entire game because usually we like to move around, but I have a feeling that's going to be a good one. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Garden City defense can stop that Kelleher train because no one else has been able to do it this season.
So far, nope.
No one has been able to stop the Ford Carney train. So can the MacArthur defense do that? It's going to be fun. And
I would say, will Garden City maybe crumble under the pressure? But that's stupid. They've won 42 in a row, including Long Island Championship games. The Long Island Championship games are more pressure than this.
Oh, yeah. It's like I was saying before to you. This is, I feel like, at Garden City now is the norm. Winning is the norm. Sure. It's more than a streak. It's culture there now. You have to win, you know? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. We spoke to Ford Carney after the game, and he said, yeah, you know, we knew this game would be for the record, but we're not thinking about the record. We have a lot of work to do, and we want to beat MacArthur. So, yes, they want to get the streak, but they want to beat MacArthur.
That's how good we are. We give you a preview to next week's show when we start this week's show. Yeah. So whoever wins that game will be the top playoff seed in Conference 2, and that honor also on the line in Suffolk's Division 2 this weekend. West Islip taking on Lindenhurst. Very little offense in this one. The first points didn't come until the opening kickoff of the second half. This is Matt Josephson. He's on Twitter. He doesn't have many followers, so hook him up on Twitter and be like, dude, I just saw you on the News 12 Sports Rush. Whoa, little stumble there. But he gets in, 93-yard touchdown, them dogs up 7-0. Later in the quarter, Lions trying to get their first points, but Lindy's special teams is special again. That's Warren Dixon with a big block on a field goal try. West Islip had more chances in this game. Eventually, you get chances against Lindenhurst, Rapp. You got to come through with them.
And they didn't. Time and time again, this one, Jack Hogan makes the stop. They had another 4th and 1 a couple minutes later, and watch Jaden Barber. This is later in the quarter. Jaden Barber.
Wow, nice tackle.
Yeah,
nice.
So they had their opportunities, and they just couldn't come through. The Lindy defense, outstanding.
And Jack Winey makes sure there's no late comebacks in this one. He ices it with a 31-yard touchdown with under a minute to play. And Lindenhurst, low-scoring affair, but they pull it off, 14-0.
We've had a solid defensive unit in past years, so like when we got a good defense like this, we just trust each other, and that's what happens.
Take me through that kickoff return because that obviously turned out to be the game winner.
Yeah, I knew we needed a spark. We had a tough first half, and I saw a hole, I took it, and scored.
Makes it sound so simple. Big hole, took it, scored. Bada bing, bada boom.
It's very rare, you know, when two good teams like that, you play to a 0-0 tie at the half.
True.
So, yeah, you kind of got the feeling early on that, hey, if somebody even kicks a field goal, that might be good enough to win the game. The crowd was electric. What a great atmosphere it was. And he got that kickoff return, and like, all right, that's probably going to hold up. And you know, I know they got the bonus touchdown at the end,
sure.
But what a play.
All right, so now Lindenhurst, you have to assume that they're going to be the number 1 seed in the playoffs. I feel a little bit bad for West Islip, having been out there in the preseason when they said, hey, this is our year. It still could be their year. It's not over.
Absolutely.
But Lindy right now has to go to the top of the playoff seedings.
Yeah, and the playoff seedings this year in Division 2 only take on a little extra special meaning because normally the county championship game is a neutral site,
yep.
Usually Stony Brook. This year, the day their game falls what I was told, I spoke to Coach Lombardo this morning, Stony Brook wasn't available. So they had a lot of other options, whether they should play at another neutral site or they couldn't go to Stony Brook, should they move the game to another day. But as a coaches association, they decided whoever gets the top seed is going to host the game.
Love it.
Which is actually interesting because that actually means something now to have the number one seed.
Because now if you're a coach, I put the carrot out there and you dangle it in front of the teams and say, hey, you want it, let's go get it.
Right, because normally if you're the number one seed, what does it mean for Stony Brook? It means you get to wear a different color jersey, right? Because it's on a neutral site. So what does it mean? So this actually has a lot of meaning. If Lindenhurst gets to play that game on their field, advantage Lindenhurst.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. More Division II action. Connecticut put a whooping on North Babylon in a game seen right here on News 12 Plus. Drew Gutierrez to James Mastro. This is a 41-yard touchdown connection to make it 6-0 in the first. And then after the defense forced a turnover, the offense goes right back to work. Look at those red unis blazing down the field. Cole Panucci, perfect pass, 37-yarder. It was 13-0. And Drew can also do it with his legs as well. This is why Stony Brook wants him so bad. Speaking of Stony Brook, kid doesn't have to change his colors. Going to be wearing red in college.
There you go.
T-Birds roll 48-21. To the big schools we go. William Floyd hosting Longwood. In the second quarter, the Lions down 7 until Casey and Cobb going to haul it in, and it's a 7-7 game. But all Floyd after that. Floyd, right wrap, looking like the real deal again, aren't they?
Yeah, Tyshawn Lopez is a big reason why we put that video up on Twitter. People saw it over the weekend.
Had 4 touchdowns for him.
Yeah, I mean, he had Thomas Verga to Devin Brown for the touchdown. Their offense is so good. 18-yard hookup, they win 41-14.
Verga, by the way, has a 4.0 grade point average, so that's a really smart quarterback.
Good little nugget there.
Yeah, there you go. So could we, I'd contribute here, Rap. I know what I'm doing. So could we be headed to Floyd, Freeport, Long Island Championship? Because from what I've seen, those are the 2 best big school teams by far.
It sure seems that way, and it would surprise no one because they met last year, they met many times in the past, and Freeport seems to get the better of them whenever they play in the Long Island Championship, but funny story about Freeport. So
now you're giving me a nugget. All right, there we go.
So I stroll on into the Farmingdale-Freeport game at Farmingdale the other day, and I'm walking, I'm ready to get on the field, and Freeport fan comes up to me and goes, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Hey, well, what's going on?" He goes, "Why no love for Freeport this year?" I said,
What?
"Wait, what?
What?
What are you talking about?" He goes, "I see you talking about Garden City and MacArthur and all these other teams every week, but no love for Freeport." I said, "Well, first of all, we're here. Second of all, we've been to other games this season.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, which I do have a good memory, I said, I think it was just last week that I said Freeport is probably the most dominant team on Long Island, especially in the big schools."
Yes.
You know what he said to me? "Yeah, you did say that.
But that's not enough."
But it was only 1 week. Guy, what do you want from me? We give Freeport plenty of love on the show.
Man, the love meter of Freeport right now it's like pinned like this.
Man, I'm getting attacked in a game for not giving Freeport love, and we've talked about them almost every week on the show.
Do you know what we should do next? Show the
Freeport.
highlights. Here we go. Scoreless game this week. Freeport and Farmingdale in this one. Javion Allen says, "Rap, put me on." I love this kid, by the way. Built like a bowling ball, number 2.
Yeah,
I saw him
there
play
you go.
against Oceanside. He's terrific, absolutely. Meanwhile, Daler's looking for the answer, and Shamel Howard's like, "I got your answer right here. I got your jersey, too." Big sack on a 3rd down, forces a punt, and on the second play of the second quarter, it's Allen again. See? Bowling ball. Tucks it tight, bursts through the line from 19 yards out. Freeport love. 35-6, the final on that one. St. Anthony's hosting Rell of Staten Island. Farrell, pick it up in the 3rd quarter. Friars up 14, and it grows. That's Mario Escobar from Connor McCreary. A 65-yard hookup to make it 28-7. St. Anthony's really could use a win. They've had a hard season. Nick Alvarado says a win. Well, we need touchdowns to get wins. And he got that one. He picks it and takes off, and it's St. Anthony's. That's a big sigh of relief there for the Friars. They win this one 35-14. And while the win was good on Friday night, the Friars did even better on Saturday. We're going to talk to you about that, but a little bit later on the show, we're going to show you a nice little event that St. Anthony's had. And also, we should mention, they're struggling, Rap. I mean, every win this season for St. Anthony's now is going to matter even more.
Yeah, listen, new coach. We talked about early in the season, new quarterback now, a lot of new players. So the new coach is going to, it's going to take an adjustment period. It happens anytime there's a new coach at any school. So They'll be fine. It's St. Anthony's, they'll get the players, they'll get things turned around. Maybe it's later this year, maybe it's next season, but St. Anthony's has a tradition, and that tradition obviously came from Coach Richie Reichert, and he stepped down after 32 years, so it's going to take some time again.
So at this point now, do we look at the Catholic League on Long Island and go, well, I guess it's Kellenberg or Burst?
Well, Kellenberg and Chaminade are down in AA, right? So they're not playing with the big boys this year. Well, Chaminade usually does. They're not this year. Kellenberg has been in AA for a little while. So those two schools are going to be fighting for the AA title. I would imagine in the AAA, it's either going to be Iona Prep or Stepinac or Cardinal Hayes.
Yeah, so Stepinac having a good season again.
And Iona Prep having a good season. So it's, St. Anthony's probably not going to be there. But, yeah, it's going to take some time to get back to Richie standards. Is that the best way to call it?
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, that's the tradition they built. Right. Now you have a new coach, and listen, cultures change all the time. Right. But that's the one thing at St. Anthony's, I don't think the culture will never change. Listen, they changed their entire offense we saw a couple of years ago, and they went spread formation because he decided, listen, kids were not really interested maybe in coming to St. Anthony, so they changed it up, and they did well, had a great quarterback last year, the Offensive Player of the Year in the Catholic League.
Sure.
So now, you got to kind of live up to those standards. The culture's not going to change. It's a matter of getting the kids that can live up to that culture. That's the difference now.
Exactly. And one other note from the Catholic League. You mentioned Kellenberg. They beat St. Peter's 49-17. Jordan DeLucia, 228 yards rushing, 5 total touchdowns. Harvard getting a good one.
Yeah, and Holy Trinity also got a win on Sunday. We can't forget about little Holy Trinity over there trying to have a good season. So we did mention that great event at St. Anthony's on Saturday. Had nothing to do with going on the football field. People are all dressed up, and we're going to show you that. And when we come back, how about the guys at Southside High School? Yeah, they're here. They're in our green room, and the guys are ready to talk about their unbeaten season, what's led to it, and how their siblings and ice cream have played a big part in it. That's next. Southside continues to win in football. Late first half, William Pickett finds Xavier Brewster in the end zone. It's a 25-yard strike, and they led Lynbrook 27-0. And the Cyclones' defense was outstanding again. Look at Richie Patron. Nobody's blocking that guy. That's a tackle for a loss. And then in the third, Nick Lacalzi puts the finishing touches on the scoring. Breaking tackles, taking names, 3 dudes in yellow helmets behind him. Nobody's catching him. It's an 80-yard strike. The future Navy lacrosse player outruns everybody, and Southside's outrunning everybody in the standings as well, pretty much. 6-0 rather, the record with a 34-6 win. And 2 of the guys you just saw in those highlights are in the studio tonight. William Pickett, the quarterback, Richie Patron, the guy who made the tackle for the loss. They're so good, we just bring them in. We got to talk to them because there is a football resurgence going on at Southside right now. 5 years ago, you guys are in 8th grade. The varsity team goes winless. What the heck has happened at Southside now, William?
Everyone in the program is bought in from the top to the bottom. No matter who you are, everyone's coming to the summer workouts, ready to work and improve their game.
And ready to be good. Yeah. That's the best part, right? And when you're good, there's a buzz in school. All right, Richie, so what is the buzz in school? What's everybody talking about when you have a football jersey on now?
Well, I mean, everyone's talking about the football team. I mean, coming into this season, there was a lot of, doubts around the school saying that, maybe we wouldn't be so good and we wouldn't do that well this year. But
even with the number 2 preseason ranking, there were still doubters, huh?
Yeah.
No matter how much you win, sometimes things never change, basically.
Is the school spirit up more? I mean, because football drives a lot of schools. When football's good, a lot of people want to come out. Is that happening with you guys?
Yeah, we get a good crowd at the games. Sometimes back in a couple years ago, you wouldn't really get anyone. You'd be lucky you get 10 kids, but now we get a packed student section.
And that must make you guys feel great, walk around all right, we're a good football team. We're unbeaten.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, listen, the big game was a couple weeks ago against Wantagh. It was a rematch of the playoffs last year. Wantagh beat you. How big was that win? And talk to me about the week leading up to that. What was that like as this revenge was on the line?
Well, we were very focused during practice and film, knowing what we had to do to get the job done that game. And paid off.
Yeah.
It pays off, but Richie, in practice, is it guys, we can't mess up? This is the one. This is the focus game we need.
Yeah, that was the most serious week of practice that we've had in a while, and we had to come into that game with a chip on our shoulder, ready to go. So
You know, I think when we talked about that game, I said you look like a fullback in a quarterback, you know, body, fullback body and quarterback. You know, do you feel like when you're playing, like, all right, I can put my head down and no one's gonna stop me?
I mean, I hope that's how it works when I'm running into the kids. Hopefully they feel the pain more than I feel it.
But you like contact.
I like the contact.
Yeah. Where's that come from?
2 older brothers.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's the credit, huh? So all right. So what was backyard football like in the Pickett house?
Playing with the older kids, you get hit. You get tougher.
I guess. Watching this guy run the ball. Now you might be blocking for him, right? It's the crowd cheer. That's how you know good things happen?
Yeah, when I'm blocking my guy and I just hear like a bunch of people start screaming and there goes Will.
There you go. There's my boy right there. You ever pat the defender on the ground? Sorry, guys. I'm going to go just give him a high five kind of down the road there.
What's the best part about being 6-0? Is it the fact that, you know, you were supposed to be this good and you are this good? Or, you know, what is, for you, the best part about being 6-0?
I like it kind of living up to what we know we can be and what people doubted us. We know that we're proving them wrong.
And you told me before the show started that you knew you guys were going to be good, not last year, not when you first came up with sophomores, but you knew in 8th grade, right, that you guys were going to be good.
Yeah, in 8th grade, our middle school had a losing streak for about 4 years, and then when we were in 8th grade, we went 4-1. So that's when I knew we kind of had something special going.
And now, speaking of special, it's a special game this week. You guys get Plain Edge. Now, you told me you've done some scouting on Plain Edge. Is this even bigger than the Wantagh game now because these are the 2 undefeated teams going at it?
Yes, it's a very big game. I'm very excited for it.
What did you see from Plain Edge when you did scouting?
I mean, their quarterback, Dan Villari, is very good. He can throw the ball, so I'm just going to have to stay right on my receiver.
Right on your receiver. And there they are. This is going to be a huge game. What would it mean to win?
It would be a big win for us. And
program changing almost in a bit of a way?
It's a big game for the program.
Yeah, I like that. And we're going to be there. All right, real quick, you guys also go to Cold Stone Creamery every Sunday. That's what they told me, Rap. These are my kind of guys. Where did that come from, and what does it do for the team?
I think it brings the team a lot closer together, and just being able to hang out with your the football team and making those friends.
When you walk into Cold Stone, is the guy like, man, here we go again. Got to make the ice cream for all 30 of these dudes.
There go the Southside boys.
There go the Southside boys.
Hold on a second. What's your favorite flavor? I get Cold Stone.
You just get like chocolate.
Nah.
Chocolate peanut butter. Chocolate peanut butter.
Chocolate too.
Yeah. He's a chocolate hater.
I don't eat chocolate
hater.
So I'm not coming to Cold Stone with you guys.
Shame.
Yeah, I'm done.
You know they do have vanilla if you wanted to go with it.
I know, but I like to hang out and eat with the guys, but if they're not going to get vanilla, I'm done. I'll get my own.
You can take them. Rap will pay for you.
Win a championship, I'll buy you guys Cold Stone. How about that?
That sounds like
and we'll give you the tape to prove it. All right, guys, listen, keep up the great work, all right? Keep up that great work. 6-0, Southside Cyclones. Hey, listen, last week we told you about the story we've been doing about former Shoreham Wading River football player Tom Cutinella. He died 5 years ago after getting hit in the head during a game. He was 16 years old. What many people didn't know was that shortly after he turned 16, Tom signed up to be an organ donor, and after he died, his organs went to 4 people. Karen Kroll from Hoboken, New Jersey got Tom's heart, and Wayne Smallwood from Queens got Tom's kidney and pancreas. And even though they never met Tom, they told me they feel like, in some small way, they're now living for him.
I've had nurses tell me, like, it's not your heart anymore, you're taking care of it for somebody else. This is a gift. And so when I keep that in mind, I think, what would he do from what I know about him?
I feel like I literally have known him, and I feel like this is somebody that I think I would have wanted to embrace, and somebody I would have wanted to know, in my life. Yeah. Because what a great inspiration, listening to the stories. Yeah.
They're all an extension of Thomas. Yeah. That's, it's part of who he is, and for me, it's like bringing family back together again.
Fellas have become like family. It is an incredible story. There is a link to it on our social media pages at Sports Rush N12 on Twitter and Instagram, and also the News 12 Sports Facebook page. Not many people could get this kind of a turnout at Crest Hollow Country Club on Saturday. Packed house honoring legendary St. Anthony's football coach Richie Reichert. He retired after last season, his 32nd year leading the Friars. Standing room only for this guy. Nearly 1,000 former players, coaches, friends, and family there to say thanks to Coach Reichert. And we say thank you as well because he was a big friend of the Sports Rush. Stats are incredible. The guy has 200 games, over 500 with multiple championships.
Yeah, he was just he was a great guy too. He was the nicest coach. You know, he cared about his players. He tried to get everybody into the games. He wanted to win the right way. That was more important to him than just winning. You know, he did the right thing. And as always, he was humble, especially when we spoke to him last night.
This is a little overwhelming, but you know, it's just been wonderful to see everybody coming back, and you know, we're celebrating St. Anthony's football, and I'm glad I was a little part of it.
A little part.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the most humble soundbite I've ever heard.
A little part of it. I mean, listen, he was the part of it, you know, and it was great. Last night they announced they're building a new sports complex at St. Anthony's.
Beat me to it.
And it is called Richie Reichert Sports Complex.
I was going to say, you have to do something.
There you go.
I know you can't do the field, but that's really awesome for him.
It is. They showed renderings. It is just an unbelievable scene, and congratulations, Coach. You deserve it.
All right, let's get to one last game. Here we go. Mineola and North Shore. Homecoming for the Vikings, and they did not disappoint. Scoreless in the first. It's going to be Forrest Dimitri. You have to say this. Run, Forrest, run! It's a 7-0 Vikings lead, and then later in the quarter, James DeSimone with a quarterback keeper. 5 guys score 5 touchdowns, and the Vikings win 33-6. And that's it for The Rush, everybody. Thanks for watching. Good night.